It's a very good evening to you. You are watching Newsplus right here on ZTN Prime. I'm Itai Mutini. Let's take a look at our top stories this evening. Equatorial Guinea's President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Basongo has arrived in the country for a two-day state visit that is set to culminate in the signing of key bilateral agreements with President Emmerson Mnangagwa. President Emmerson Mnangagwa has approved the creation of incentive frameworks designed to promote the widespread adoption of artificial intelligence, AI technologies across the public and private sectors. Also on Newsplus, there are renewed calls for safe transportation of school children after the Gweru accident, which claimed the lives of 7 learners on Wednesday. And in sport, Scotland shot to the top of the Castle Lager Premiership standings after a 3-0 win over Triangle. Equatorial Guinea President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Basongo has arrived in the country for a two-day state visit that will see him and President Emmerson Mnangagwa sign key bilateral agreements aimed at deepening cooperation between the two nations. Our correspondent Ibn Mabunda has that story.
A historic milestone in Pan-African diplomacy unfolded on the tarmac of Robert Gabriel Mugabe International Airport this Thursday as Equatorial Guinea's President Teodoro Obiang Nguema Basongo arrived in Harare for a landmark state visit. The Equatorial Guinean leader was received at the foot of the aircraft by his counterpart President Emmerson Mnangagwa in a warm display of long-standing camaraderie. Also present on the tarmac to deliver a high-level protocol were Vice President Dr. Constantino Chiwenga, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and several senior cabinet ministers.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. Welcome to Zimbabwe.
In keeping with strict diplomatic protocol for the arrival ceremony, no official speeches were delivered at the tarmac. Instead, the focus remained on the high state honors accorded to the visiting head of state. President Basongo was treated to a resounding 21-gun salute that echoed across the airport grounds, followed by the rendering of the national anthems before he proceeded to inspect a full guard of honor mounted by the Zimbabwe Defense Forces. The visit directly follows the successful inaugural session of the Zimbabwe Equatorial Guinea Joint Permanent Commission on Cooperation held early last month, which was designed to expand bilateral economic cooperation, promote regional integration, and finalize legal instruments for deeper sectoral collaboration. Economic synergy heavily anchors this visit. Equatorial Guinea stands as Africa's third-largest oil producer, pumping out over 400,000 barrels of oil per day and is a mass producer of natural gas. During the state visit, Harare and Malabo are expected to sign several key agreements, including the Agreement on Economic and Trade Cooperation, an agreement on the training of translators and interpreters, and Memoranda of Understanding covering education, agriculture, wildlife management, fisheries, tourism and mining, while also pursuing the rationalization of visa fees. This visit looks to build on the momentum of 2023 when President Mnangagwa paid a 3-day state visit to Equatorial Guinea.
And now Ibn Mabunda joins us live to unpack the trade relations between Zimbabwe and Equatorial Guinea and what to expect from the bilateral agreements. Ibn, go ahead.
Well, good evening. a strategic visit here by the Equatorial Guinean head of state to Zimbabwe, where it is that the bilateral trade between the two countries currently sits well below $500 million. So the mission is how to amplify the bilateral relations between the two countries against the backdrop of intracontinental trade in Africa sitting at 18% vis-a-vis 63% for Europe and 60% for Asia. That, speaking of the gap and the potential that exists between African countries as well as between Zimbabwe and the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. Of course, Equatorial Guinea is the third largest producer of oil in Africa, and so Zimbabwe will be seeking to tap into that particular potential as well as the vast production of gas that is churned out annually by the Republic of Equatorial Guinea. At the same time, you've got the JPCC, the Joint Permanent Commission for Cooperation between Harare and Malabo, which is expected to result in the signing of several memoranda of understanding in education and agriculture and fisheries, in tourism, among several other aspects of cooperation.
Thanks, Eben. Now, President Emmerson Mnangagwa has authorized the development of incentive frameworks for artificial intelligence aimed at encouraging greater adoption of AI technologies across businesses, government institutions, and other organizations. This was revealed by ICT's Minister Tatenda Mavetera during the third edition of the Evolve Africa Summit in Harare this morning. Held under the theme, Empowering Africa's Digital Leap, the Evolve Africa Summit brought together policymakers, industry leaders, technology experts, and innovators to discuss the continent's digital future.
The President said to us we need to provide for incentives for artificial intelligence. And very soon we'll be able to unpack those. But we are glad that the Ministry of Finance has availed to us 3 provinces which are going to be special economic zones. And these special economic zones are meant to make sure that at least we've got companies that would come and trade in these special economic zones, and of course have a lot of incentives being given to them. So if we're saying if a company is going to adopt artificial intelligence, they're going to be getting incentives, then definitely we want to encourage a lot of uptake of the adoption of artificial intelligence in the country.
Minister Mavetera said they have set sights on promoting universal access to digital learning tools through the One Gadget, One Student initiative beginning at early childhood development level. She added the government is prioritizing digital skills development with an ambitious target of training 1.5 million coders to support the country's digital economy and position Zimbabwe as a competitive player in the global technology space.
Within these next 3 months, we have to train 200,000 people in digital literacy. So if we're going to train 200,000 people, we cannot do it alone as government. We expect each and every player to also play their part. We are not calling upon each and every one of you or the companies who are here to say, play your part, contribute towards it. The target that we have as a government is for us to create 1.5 million coders. And that can only happen if we work together. We look at the basics to say the basics are the digital skills. But as we go forward, then we need to say to ourselves, from digital skills, then we'll go to AI training, we also need to go to coding, so that at least we achieve the future that we want. Just today is Friday, Thursday, my digital skills so that we achieve the Zimbabwe that we want.
You're watching Newsplus, so we'll be right back after this.
Tired of long journeys and queues? Accessing your NASA benefits just got a whole lot easier. Introducing the new NASA Claims Portal. Whether you're at the normal retirement age of 60 or 65 or late retirement, you can now claim online from the comfort of your home. Registered contributors can also claim for invalidity if below 60 years and medically certified incapacitated, or early retirement at age 55 for arduous occupations. It's faster, better, and just a few clicks away. Claim today at selfservice.nasa.org.zw. NASA, a lifelong promise.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health and Childcare has unveiled a revised edition of Zimbabwe's clinical guidelines on the care and management of survivors of sexual violence, updating a framework first introduced in 2016. The revised guidelines strengthen survivor-centered care, reinforce standards on dignity, confidentiality and informed consent, and seek to improve the quality and consistency of services provided to survivors across the healthcare system.
Sexual violence remains a major public health and human rights concern, with authorities saying the care survivors receive in the hours following an incident can shape both recovery and access to justice.
When somebody has been sexually abused, when they must seek assistance from qualified health professionals. They must go to the nearest clinic, they must go to the nearest hospital, because you need to be there within 72 hours.
Health authorities say the revised guidelines of the clinical care of management of survivors of sexual violence in Zimbabwe provide healthcare workers with updated tools to deliver professional, compassionate and survivor-centered care while promoting dignity, confidentiality and non-discrimination.
When patients get to, or victims get to our health centers, they may even be handled improperly by our health workers. But it's because health workers have not been trained or they don't have the guidelines.
Development partners say the updated framework also supports integrated services offered through one-stop centers where survivors can access healthcare, psychosocial support and protection services in one location.
We want to remember that it is not just paper, it's the guidelines. We don't have to put it in our shelves. We have written about it and we're going to go step by step to ensure that they help bring the impact that we want to achieve on the ground.
UNFPA says more than 7,000 survivors accessed services through supported one-stop centers, while over 17,000 people were reached through community programs aimed at preventing gender-based violence and encouraging survivors to seek assistance.
The Traffic Safety Council of Zimbabwe Managing Director Munesu Munodawafa has urged motorists, parents and school authorities to prioritize the safety of learners during transportation to and from school. His remarks follow a fatal road accident involving a school-run vehicle in Gweru that claimed the lives of 7 learners after the vehicle caught fire on Wednesday. The incident, which occurred on Wednesday, has since been declared a national disaster by President Emmerson Mnangagwa.
I want to appeal to the school authorities, because in some cases we know it's the school authorities that facilitate that transport, and also to the parents as well, to ensure that they use roadworthy vehicles. They should ensure that the vehicle has a fitness test, as all the paperwork is insured, so that in the unlikely event of an incident or an accident, there is recourse. Then in terms of the drivers and the operators themselves, I want to once again remind Zimbabweans that we should not transport people in the same vehicle that is carrying explosives.
In Victoria Falls, helicopters usually mean tourism, but some now carry something far more urgent: critically ill patients racing against time. Our correspondent this year, Shambare, has more.
The helicopter is heard before it is seen. In this city, helicopters usually signal sightseeing, but not this one. Inside is a critically ill patient surrounded by life-saving equipment, sometimes a child struggling to breathe. 473 children under 12 have been flown to care, including 271 infants. Sometimes a mother fighting for life.
Ndiri kunzwa kufara zvikuru nezvakaitwa nemutungamiriri wenyika kutisira ambulensi dzendege, nekuda kwekuti iye zvinonyango ndikarwara ndinokasikawo kuya kutakurwa ndichinorapwa zvakasununguka. Zvasiyana nekare rokuti pamwe zvaimbonzi ambulensi yafa.
At the controls is a former Air Force pilot Leslie Makoni. Today, his war is against distance.
sense of duty calls and excitement that I'm going to be helping this person to get to the next best medical facility in the shortest possible time.
Across remote Matabeleland North, reaching specialist care by road can take hours many patients cannot afford.
Road, I think it takes about 12 hours, I think, to get to Mpilo. And obviously, if in critical cases, emergencies, that's just too long. They probably wouldn't survive that long by road, of course. But now, because of the air service, this one is faster.
The aircraft functions like a flying ICU, keeping patients alive mid-air. Since August 2024, Heli Drive has handled 1,462 emergencies across Harare, Bulawayo, and Victoria Falls. Known globally for tourism, Victoria Falls is also quietly becoming a frontline center for emergency medicine. Even here, children have been evacuated, 5 of them infants. As tourists, helicopters across the Zambezi Gorge, another aircraft awaits on standby. Where distance once decided who lived and died, now the last road is the sky.
Harare Mayor Jacob Mafume said the city's fire department should take charge of all emergency situations and not relegate the duty to civilians, as this has more danger. This follows a tragic incident in which 3 bodies were retrieved on Monday from an abandoned excavation pit left unattended by the city council. Community rescuer Victor Kazembe, also known as Coach Rambo, responded to the emergency after being called in by the Convergence Community Emergency Response Team, commonly known as Concert. The incident has raised concerns over the city council's failure to adequately respond, including reports that the local authority did not deploy a honeysucker to drain sewage at the site.
If you, fire brigade, you arrive at a site, please take charge. Avoid individualistic acts. We will have a disaster upon a disaster.
Speaking during a full council meeting this Thursday, Mafume said while community efforts are commendable, the city council should lead and closely monitor how assistance is being rendered at incident scenes. He stressed that priority must be given to trained experts to ensure proper coordination, accountability and safety during rescue operations.
Emunenge mchiti magona pano yamwe munhu achitoti tiri kuinvestigate nezvamadini nezvamaita, or you might end up causing further harm to the person wamuri kuda kubetsera neuyo ari kuda kumubetsera, and it becomes problematic.
Personnel and environmental safety is critical in curbing occupational hazards that may result in injuries and fatalities of mine workers during mining operations. This was during a tour which was organized by the Environmental Management Agency, EMA, in Goromonzi recently. Mashonaland East Province EMA Education and Publicity Officer Astus Mabwe commended the best practice measures that have been put in place by some of the local mines to ensure personnel and environmental safety, with operators committing to maintaining the standards.
As EMA, we are there to regulate, to monitor sustainable management of the environment. So you'd find in terms of the safety of the environment, it's unfortunate that in Goromonzi we experienced an accident where we lost a life through a mine accident. So the reason why we ask these miners to comply is for them to be periodically monitored and being helped to really have their things or their operations to standard, to avoid accidents, to avoid health hazards. So we are here at Chibamu Mine, really we are happy. They are doing well.
So in terms of safety, as the management, we have put in systems which ensure everyone here always has his protective clothing, which is PPE. We hold several trainings at the mine to educate everyone on the importance of safety and on the procedures that are standard on whatever work that we do here.
When we come back, it's business. Stay with us.
This June, step into a bigger entertainment experience with more to love on Us. We're talking more drama, more action, more unforgettable stories, all waiting for you.
All hands on deck.
We're opening up our world of entertainment so you can view more.
Good job, partner.
This June, pay for your current DSTV subscription and we'll upgrade you at no extra cost.
It's time to bring back the love and supercharge your morning with the ultimate throwback playlist. We are taking you on a trip down memory lane. No stress, no noise. Just pure, unadulterated 90s gold to start your day with a massive bang. Whether you're commuting, working, or waking up, unlock the beauty of old school music. Join us for Rewind the 90s every Wednesday morning from 7 to 8 a.m. Rekindle the memories. Reconnect the love, only on ZTN Prime. It's your morning remixed.
Welcome back in business news. The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board, in collaboration with Plant Quarantine Services, has intensified a nationwide crackdown on farmers failing to comply with the tobacco destalking exercise, deploying inspection teams across all tobacco producing regions under the Plant Pests and Diseases Act. First-time offenders face a $100 fine, while repeat offenders risk fines of up to $200 per hectare. TIMB Communications Officer Kelesani Tarwe said several growers in Wedza and Beatrice have already been fined for failing to destroy tobacco stalks, a critical measure in preventing the spread of pests and diseases.
The Tobacco Industry and Marketing Board reminds all tobacco growers to destroy tobacco stalks immediately following the 15 May deadline for stock destruction. This exercise is important to prevent the carryover of pests and diseases to the next crop. TIMB, working together with Plant Quarantine and others, has deployed inspection teams to all tobacco producing regions to monitor compliance. Several growers in Wedza and Beatrice have already been fined for failing to destroy the tobacco stalks. Farmers are urged to comply to avoid penalties and safeguard the upcoming tobacco crop.
A $100 million cement plant in Chegutu by Shuntai Investment is nearing completion. The plant, which is now at 90% completion, is currently employing more than 400 people and is expected to start production by August this year officially. The plant will produce more than 800,000 metric tons of cement annually.
For the civil works, it's almost done. Just like we said, it's 90% done. And now it's peaking hours for the installation work. According to catch up with the plants, so our Chinese people work day and night to catch up with the plants.
Speaking during an assessment tour, the government says the output at the plant will ease the importation of cement and also slash prices.
Nekuti sementi nekuti uyezviye munyika muno ishoma sementi yoyi kuona kwangu as far as GDP national kana kuti provincial GDP ichabatsira. The product is going to be easily accessible. The product also we are hoping it's going to be lowerly priced. That means mutengo unenge waderera.
Sport is up next.
From 11 June to 19 July, everything can wait. The FIFA World Cup 2026. Catch all 104 matches from as little as $10. Live on SuperSport, only on DSTV.
Welcome back. In sport, Scotland beat Triangle United 3-0 at Rufaro Stadium this afternoon to move to the top of the Castle Premier Soccer League standings. Knowledge Musona, Kama Billiat and Isaka Mohammed got the goals for Scotland, who leapfrogged Hard Rock and Caps United into first place. The Mapfuka have 34 points from 17 matches, 2 more than second placed Hard Rock, while Caps dropped down to third on goal difference. Elsewhere, Highlanders beat Gama 1-0 at Bubblefield Stadium. Here are the highlights from Rufaro.
Midweek action in the Castle Premier Soccer League here on ZTM Pro. Shidolo with a ball forward for Kama Billiard. Good take down in the box for Knowledge Msona. First shot of the game. A very good ball in from Kama Billiard.
Do one most of the time.
The best opportunity there from
Moses Shidolo.
Chapua plays it back, but Billiard there with an opportunity and a foul there by Karembo. Big decision there for the referee Kwanele Manenda. Straight red card. He was the last man. Second look at that. It was a reckless back pass from Talent Chawapua, and Kama Billiard was through on goal. And Karembo as the last man, clipping him just outside the box there. Good first touch from Billiard and a straight red card. No hesitation from Kwanele Manenda. Otumsona with the long ball in, trying to find Kama Billiard. Bounces, but Nyabunga there. And then Otumsona, but Otumsona!
Meanwhile, Scotland head coach Norman Mapeza called on his charges to respect the game so as to achieve their set objectives.
Yeah, it was a good game of football. I think the guys did well today. You know, after they went one man down, I knew it was not going to be easier, but I think that breakthrough we got from Knowledge, I think it opened everything for us. Then we kept on pushing, and we managed to get 2 more goals in the second half. Like I said, for us, we are just taking each game as it comes. But look, massive win for us. What is important now is just to manage the card of these boys, because we've got a very crucial game on Sunday against Hard Rock. I spoke to them during the halftime break. We need to maintain our structure. We can't be seen going all over the place because we are not safe. 1-0 was not safe for us, but I think we showed that in the second half with the structure, the build-ups from the back.
The results saw Triangle's unbeaten run extend to 9 games, leaving them rooted bottom with a paltry 9 points. Head coach Lloyd bemoaned how they approached and hopes to improve the quality of his side.
I thought the difference today was in quality. I thought Scotland did more of it today, and yeah, that was the difference. And yeah, we knew of the challenge, we knew of the task, and but at the end of the day, it was just down to quality. I think the whole idea is obviously to try and improve on the quality of the team, and there's no compromise, and I'm sure everyone is aware of this. You know, at the end of the day, football is decided by quality. It boils down to what you have in your locker, and if you have less, then this is the case, and if you have more in your locker in terms of quality, then obviously the opposite is true.
And that's all we had for you on Newsplus. I'm Itai Mutiniri. The weather update is up next.